What's up, guys? A couple months ago, I sort of showed you guys the process of us buying a bunch of these smaller roll-off containers, and then I talked a little bit about what the plans were with them. But we've been so busy, we haven't had any time to focus on getting these prepped and ready to start using them. But over the past couple of weeks, we've had a little bit of time, so we've started to do that. You can see behind me over here, we've got a couple that are finished up, but I wanted to show you what they look like beforehand and then what they look like afterwards. And then we'll walk over to the maintenance shop where we're sort of doing all of the prep work and the painting. So let's check it out. So if you watched the previous videos about these dumpsters, there was 47 of them total, and they're all roughly about the same size. I would say they're about a 12 to 15 yard container. They vary just a little bit, but not by much. And they're all in different conditions. So some of them are actually in pretty good condition, like this back one, 1409 here. I think we could get away with just getting the stickers and the numbers off it, putting a fresh coat of paint, and it's ready to go. But then some of these other ones have holes punctured in them, like this one that needs to be patched. And then some of them, the floors are in pretty rough condition, like this one's probably getting pretty thin and has a hole right there. So we are patching the floors and the sides and getting all the old stickers and paint off of them. Well, we're not getting the old paint off, we're just painting over them. But so we got this many more to go, and we've got a few of these already finished. So of course, these are used containers and they are not going to look perfect at all. You can still see on some of these where the old stickers were, it's about impossible to get those stickers off. So we just burn them off with the torch as best we can. And then we are basically just bombing these black and then putting our number on them. So on some of these, you can see where he's run angle iron down the sides as a patch and then put patch panels in the floors. And then on some of them, you can see where he's patched on the outsides. I'm not sure if you can see on these, but that's basically it. We're just patching them. Oh, here you go. You can see on the front of this one, it's got these patches. And some of these were actually previously patched before we purchased them. So some of the patches we've done and some they've done, like you can see on this container, it's got a patch all the way down, but that was done by them, not by us. So that's basically it. Let's go over to the shop where they're working on these and I can kind of show you how they're doing it. Well, we've never really had a complete weld fab shop, so we sort of made do with what we got. But they've got one container over here that looks like they just finished up today. They've got the numbers painted on it, and you can see where they've got a couple patches on the walls. Doesn't look like they had to do much to the floor. This one does look a little bit rusty and a little bit beat up, but I don't think it was rusted through or there was no holes through, so they just left that the way it was. And they got this one painted today. You know, like I said, these are used containers, so you're still gonna see all these dents and dings and scratches, and some of these containers have concrete stuck to them that won't come off. We do pressure wash all these before we paint them, but if it doesn't come off with the pressure washer, that's about as far as we're going. This door was bent and beat up pretty bad on this one, so you can see where he replaced one piece with a thicker piece of channel just to try to make that more rigid and get it bent back into shape a little bit. And then he's also making sure that all the door latches work. Some of them have broken latches or they're missing pieces, and so now everything on this container is functioning. I thought that he had another one over here that he was working on, but this must have been the one I saw earlier, and he's pretty much finished it. Like I said, we don't really have a fab shop. You can kind of see this old metal building that's in pretty rough shape has turned into our little makeshift fab shop, but it's right down here, sort of in the middle of, not in the middle of the scrapyard, but sort of on the bottom side. And we didn't really use this building for much, and over the years it has absolutely been beat on and torn up, and so we basically have just deemed this the fab shop. The building is probably big enough to get one of those small containers in here, but you'd have to remove all the tools and the workbenches and the air compressor and all that stuff. So it's easier if they just leave their tools in here and then work right outside of it. But that's kind of the scrapyard way, is we just make do with what we got. So one thing you may have noticed on the ones that we have already painted is that we have not put our company logo on them. And the reason for that is I don't think that we are going to need all 47 of these containers for the scrap business. So we're sort of contemplating getting into the dumpster rental business and just servicing people locally and adding that as an add-on service to our current industrial and commercial customers. But we haven't fully decided to make the plunge yet, so what we're doing is we are just painting them and numbering them, and then we're stacking them back here in the back, and as we need them for the scrapyard, we're pulling them down one at a time and then putting our company logo on them. So any of them that go out for the scrapyard will just get the logo painted on it right before it leaves. And then once we get all of these finished and we have a final count on how many we have left over that we don't need for the scrapyard, we're going to decide whether we want to get into the trash or the dumpster rental business. And if we do that, it'll be a separate business name, and that's the only reason why we're not going to go ahead and put the scrapyard name on them. If we decide to do that, we're going to make a separate business and just try to run them basically as sister companies. So I'll be sure to give you guys an update if that's the route we go. It'd be nice if we started needing all of these for the scrapyard and did not have to go that route at all, but since we've already got them, we might as well use them to generate some sort of revenue. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.